Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. This is John with Tommy's Top Picks here to bring you your weekly flesh and blood market update. Let's just jump into it. There's some stuff to talk about. It's not too crazy, but it seems to be a fun week. WTR Unlimited boxes jumped 8.64% up to 88 from 81. Kind of a return to the mean situation. Nothing really special here because we saw that random dip last week. Is that just noise? Was there a market influx? I have no idea what that was, but we're back to 88. Not anything to remark about. I mean, we've been in kind of that range for quite some time, so it just is what it is. It happens. Sometimes you get these doldrums, and then the market recovers, and that just goes on and on. Crew Unlimited box up 12.66%. Same situation, back to where it was 2 weeks ago. Now, this was a jump up, a reversion to the mean, and then a jump back up. So that is actually looking like those tremors we get before an upward move. If you recall, when ARK jumped up to this phase, we had this period where it did this little jitter, and then it shot up, and then it jittered up there, and then it like tested the low, and then came back and stayed stable up in that region. So what we could be seeing is stock maybe actually running out at this point, or not running out, but you know what I mean, like getting to a point where it's harder to come by. There just aren't as many cases, whatever the situation is. So slowly the market is reflecting that as it becomes difficult to renew the stock on websites, right? So I have a feeling we will see this jump up at some point. I called in the next 6 months just to be safe. It could be like next week. It could be next month. It could be 3 months. It could be 6 months. I may be wrong. It may be even longer, but I'd say in the next 6 months or so, I would not be shocked to see this as a $100 box. I do not think we're going to get it to this 125 range. Again, I could be wrong, but that's my guess, is that we see this as a $100 box as stock runs out, because it's probably going to run out sometime in the near future. And we did see it above 100 here before, but this was a short-term thing. So we'll take a look at the charts on this one. Hopefully I remember to go through it a little bit in detail, but I think that's what we're seeing, is that kind of quiver before it goes up. Tales of Aria Unlimited boxes up 10.91% to $61 from $55. Tales is always throwing us for a loop. We have multiple of these weird jumps, declines, jumps, declines, whatever. It bounces around in this area. I don't think this is anything of note, honestly. Moving on down to first edition boxes. First edition WTR is down 18.35% to 4,000 from 4,899. We have seen this downward pressure for a while. I would expect that this won't hold for too long, especially if it dips further, because a 20% discount on a product like this is unexpected. Now, one warning on this. This is TCG Player list pricing, not sold data, so take it with a giant grain of salt. I know boxes were selling for below this price on Facebook and other places, and has been pretty much this entire time. Maybe not as far back as that. Maybe like since here. Because I think when it was here, the market pressure was more like a 4,500 area on those other areas, other sales channels. So, take it with a grain of salt. Again, TCG Player list price, not sold price. I would expect that if this stays low for too long, you'll see the general purchases of this sort of product on those other markets come even further down, which would be interesting. I would say also, if you buy on TCG Player, just be careful, because this could have been drop kicked across a warehouse. I've bought stuff that was kind of a expensive product from TCG Player, and it came all banged up, and there's no guarantee it's not banged up. That, when you're buying on there, it's to crack. That's typically how it is. That's why pictures aren't listed. This is an eBay. And the ones that do have listings, I think the second highest one, which is like 4,800, maybe this 4,899, does have pictures, so you get to see exactly what you get. But point being, this may have been drop kicked, sat on by your mom, or any other thing like that, and that's just worth noting that you may or may not be getting a discount. ARK is down 4.76%, honorable mention to 1900 from 1995. Yeah, not much to say there. We know it's been dragging down for a while. I do think at some point it hits a bottom that's going to make it bounce back up because it will just be too cheap to pass up. I would say definitely anything in like that 15 to 2000 range is probably a pretty good deal, but it's hard to say over the long run. If you want one for your shelf, you may be looking at one of your last opportunities to buy a first edition box. I would ask for pictures though. Try to get one that is in good condition, because it is a beautiful thing to sit on the shelf in a what do they call those? The bear cases. Those things are awesome. And you can just look at it in all its glory. Crew down 17.6% to $665 from 807. We said this was crazy. It was crazy last week. It has retraced, not unexpected. And then it is higher than its previous area high. So we'll look at that chart, but note that we're still looking at, a general decline in market from where we were a while ago. So this is just some weird thing that happened, some buyout. I don't think it was a buyout, honestly. Some sort of lower stock price stuff got bought out, and then this was all that was left. So that's what we saw. And now we're back, people listed. And this is what we said. Like with a spike like that, it will probably be relisted. If there's not enough stock, then it will be high. It looks like there's enough stock, so we're back down to our range. So we'll look at the chart, but that's where that is. Excuse me. Tales of Aria down 4.55% to $63 from 66, from 69, from 74. So it's just falling off now. We'll see how that plays out in the long run, but I have a feeling there's just downward pressure because there's a lot of boxes. There's still a lot of boxes for Tales First. I am starting to track Brightlight. Anyone know what the code is for Brightlight? Hashtag what's the code? I didn't see it in any of the spoiler stuff. So yeah, what's the code? What's the code? Somebody tell me. Oh, I did want to mention on the Crew First Edition boxes, there was a sale recently. So when this was the list price, nothing sold at this level, right? But there was a sale at $688. So this is below the last sold. So just keep that in mind as far as like real sales data. There was a $700, a little bit less than $700 sale. So the market did accept that price as a purchasable price. That was that. I think that's all I had. I feel like there was another note, but now I don't remember what it was. Okay, let's move on to some cards. That's not supposed to be there. That's supposed to be there. All right, just wanted to call out Heart of Feyendel is down lower than it has been for some time. If you look at the history, we're always kind of in those 400 range, or not always. In the past month or two, we've been in that 400 range, starting to drip down. There was a light plate at 332, which was a steal. I would have totally grabbed that if I'd seen it. But list price right now is 390. I expect to see more downward pressure. I think the main decks that play this aren't as powerful sans Icelander. So I think it's just not the hottest time for Heart, and Heart is a Fable. It's worth having. It's a usable Fable. So I don't know if this is the price for you to get it. And again, no financial advice, but if you've been waiting for a Heart, you may be looking at your next opportunity to buy it at a bit of a discount. I don't know how low it goes. If you're buying it to play with it, close your eyes, hit the button, buy it if you can afford it, only if you're in a good financial place. And don't worry about what it goes to later, because it will eventually go up, assuming the game stays functional, which it has every sign of being awesome for a long time to come. I know why I did that. I know why that's like that. Anyways, Didac Carapace. Any final words on this? It's a $23 legendary. I know our local, shout out to Gary from Fresh and Buds. Yeah. He was talking about this is not the play. He likes the Tunic for Vincent, and he did pretty well with Vincent at our local. And he is, in my mind, one of our local rune chant masters. He knows how to play all the Viscerae. I would say he's probably right based on the way I played it. I played it just a little bit. That extra resource is really good, but I'm curious, what does the crowd think? Leave a comment below. Is this the armor? Is it Husk? Or is it Tunic? Like, what's the best play with a Vincent? Regardless, the market sees this as a $23 card. I I'm guessing this 137, yeah, this 137 is cold foil. It's just stayed solid there, which is cool that the cold foils have value and hold it over the long run, or I guess the early run. But anyways, I was curious what people think about that. $23 legendary seems pretty good though. Crown of Providence, speaking of legendaries, I wanted to check in on Uprising's crown based on what had happened with the Dusk Till Dawn crown. The Dusk Till Dawn crown is down to like $60. Came down from initial pricing of like 100 and something on release, but that's normal, right? It dropped really fast down to 60 and has stayed in that range, 60 to 70 range, pretty much the entire time. This, on the other hand, has dropped down pretty precipitously. Let's go down to here. Yeah. Oh, that's a cold foil. Rainbow foil was 163 pre, Dusk Till Dawn. Oh, you guys can't see that. Shoot. Let me load more so I can scroll up. Yeah. 163 pre Dusk Till Dawn release time frame, and I think post spoiler, honestly. But you can see, like, it was higher. It was in the 200s before that, and now it's down to 111. Still holding a good value. And honestly, in the long run, it will go back up just as being a collectible item. But I do have to say that it's good to let the players get the cards, right? Like, that just seems to be the way to do it, and this is a very important piece for gameplay, so I think it's good to do it. If you want to collect, get this cold foil. Notice this was not impacted at all. It just kept going up. So if you want the collectible piece, get the cold foil. If you're sad about the playable piece being down, I don't know. I personally think it should be. I think and the older one should be a little bit more value, which it is. It's $40, $50 more expensive than the newer one. But I think that's the way you should do it, and that's a good thing. So kudos to LSS in my opinion. Anyways, let's get on to some charts. What do we got here? Man. Nothing too crazy here except that little dip we saw. We are now back to parity. Clearly some weirdness happened here. No idea why the box prices did that little herky jerk thing, but it's fine. We're back to normal, and we'll just have to see how it plays out. I do think it will eventually go back up, but I am not seeing those pre-jump jitters in WTR. In ARC, on the other hand, we are getting some fluctuations. And actually, that's interesting. We're still not at a premium, which I did not expect. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see how that plays. And then crew, here's our little zippy dip, do up, down. Yeah, this actually does feel like there's a weird supply issue. Now, this down drop actually kind of fights against my narrative about this being a pre-jump. Maybe this is more accurate of a price area for the supply, somewhere in this range, and this dip caused it to like have a little fight down here as to like, is this really what the price is? That actually is what that looks like. So I guess I was wrong on my read of the numbers, but that's because I'm like mentally visualizing what it looks like, and sometimes I get that wrong. This is why we do charts. Monarch on the rise, and a little $2 variance there. Yeah, weird. Stable as all get out. Look how stable that was for so long. Dropped down really far. Yeah, I guess that was the post Dusk Till Dawn slump. I'm reverting back to the mean. Yeah, and it's been pretty stable in this range for a long time. So I'm guessing Mon is going to stay there for some time. And this is all unlimited, of course. Tales of Aria. Doing Tales of Aria madness. God, this chart every time. I don't know, guys. If you know, leave a comment. Hashtag Ellie, because it's Ellie instead of Tails, and that makes it seem all the more reasonable that it's just an insane chart, right? Ellie. All right, maybe I amuse myself too much. I don't know. WTR. I did want to note this 2740. I didn't note it on the heat map, but it is actually backlisted again. So I think these three were red ones, marking them as it was out of stock, but that was the last price. It's back in stock at 2742 or 420. I don't think anyone's buying at this price. I don't think anyone's even considering it at these prices. It's just some one person, I think, putting a case up at that price. No one bites, takes it down. Put the case up at that price, no one bites, takes it down. I don't know why they're doing it. Maybe it's to do sales on other channels and say, see, that's the list price. No idea. I don't know. If you're using that as your data point to make a deal, you got to do more diligence than that, in my opinion. Um, Premium is expanded even more. Last time we saw that was back here. Yeah. So I was talking about the 4,000 kind of marking a good deal. Here's a 3,200 and a 2,960. If we get down to those levels, I think that would be a steal for a WTR situation. But I don't know if we will, because it has been stable here for a long time. We'll see. We'll see. WTR first is a weird product. ARC. Yeah, 1450. As I was saying, that 1500 to kind of 1900 range is a discount. That was the lowest we saw in this previous era. If we get it down to, I would say even the 1700, it might be your last chance at a buy for ARC that low. Crew. Yeah, this is the jump up and reverting to the mean. We'll see where it is next week. My guess is it's closer to down here. It is possible that this is the new plateau, but I don't see that yet. We'll have to see where it lands. It's a little bit early in the data though. Monarch, not much there. Premiums normal. Tales of Aria. Yep, a little dinosaur chart. Everfest. Oh my god, fell off a cliff. What happened here? That's new. Might be a good discount box buy. I don't know. You guys like Everfest? I actually kind of like cracking Everfest. Maybe I'll buy a box and crack it just for fun. Sell the singles on the shop. Could be fun. Uprising. Wow. Yeah, $6 ARB opportunity, but that's not really worth it. And honestly, Uprising is still in plenty of stock as far as the cards and stuff. So Dynasty is coming down. This is interesting. So this is where we get that map pressure situation. I guess it's been out long enough that the map is either not, it just is unable to hold up. People are finding ways around it, or maybe the new map layer has hit, because there's a 20% discount and a 30% discount range. I don't know when they make that change, but maybe it's approaching that time for Dynasty. Outsiders, not much to talk about. It is holding up pretty well. Like, even when it dips, it goes back up. I'm guessing that's because it's a draftable box and people are drafting it at their stores. And Dusk Till Dawn's brand new. We should expect a lot of downward pressure on this just because supplemental set, and it's a very specific supplemental set. Again, LSS has said not every set should be thought of as something for everyone, which I think is a good way of doing it so you don't get wallet fatigue. What a brilliant concept, not burning out your consumers. Love it. Love the idea. But it does mean ones that are specific like this and probably Bright Light are going to end up having more downward pressure from the market. Although Bright Light has the advantage of having that, what is it called, crack, shuffle, play capability. And so it may end up having more upward pressure for a period of time. I don't think it will be over the life of the product, like forever. But it will probably be post-release. It will hold up higher, kind of like a draftable set. I mean, it is a draftable set, but kind of like draftable sets seem to have a little bit of a premium because shops use them, they crack them, they play. I think there is value to that ability. I know personally I'm going to buy extra cases of that set in particular so that I have it to play, not to collect, but actually so I can just play, because it seems like a really easy format. You can do like mini drafts with just a couple packs, and the crack shuffle play thing seems like a lot of fun. So whenever introducing someone, I think it's going to replace WTR, frankly, for me, as far as an intro product, because you grab a couple packs out of that box that I'll have on my shelf. You say, hey, I want to show you how this game works. You explain the mechanics, you walk people through it, and it's very straightforward. We'll see how it is once we experience it, but that's my assumption, is that that's going to be a really fun intro product. And if that's the case, then it will probably buoy the price for longer. We still have no idea what the print runs are like in this 2.0 era, so I'm very curious to see what that is. I hope LSS starts giving us some information on that. I think it's a little early yet. I forget what the timing was back pre 2.0, but there was a pretty big lag between release and information about that, so we may just not be there yet. If anyone knows, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear about the history of that. If you guys know how long it takes them to release print numbers historically and when we might want to expect for 2.0, maybe they have a policy they won't release it anymore, but I think it's TBD on their website. So anyways, let me know in the comments if you know. I hope you guys are out there cracking packs, playing games, and for summer, maybe just getting outside and touching some grass, going for a hike, going to see some beautiful mountains, going to the ocean, whatever it is you like to do. Sometimes it's good to take a break from cardboard, have some fun out there. The market will lull and relax during August, and there's nothing wrong with that. And until next time, have a good one.